Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another commentary track brought to you by Not the Best Media. My name's David,
I'm Ivan.
and today we're doing Back to the Future, present of the past, of the future part 7. Ivan, I've only seen this first one.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen part 2, and I've never seen part 3.
Oh, wow. You're a shitty human.
No, I don't want to. This movie is perfect. I don't want to see the sequels.
No, you have to, man.
No, I don't know if I have to. Oh, well, you know what? Let's get to it, so we can talk about it. We're of course watching this in reference to Ready Player One, and so just for future warnings, we're gonna spoil the shit out of Ready Player One. That's your only warning. We are, for syncing purposes, we're up to around the 30-second mark. We got the Back to the Future logo right on screen. It's about to fade out, and the movie's about to fade right in. Ivan, are you ready?
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's do this. In 3, 2, 1, play. Alright,
I'm not gonna lie, I totally wasn't ready, and I actually scrambled to hit the play button.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Ivan. But we're all synced up.
Yeah,
You got
we're
Michael J.
good.
Fox on the screen. Yeah. You got the clicking clocks.
Yeah.
Gucci, you Gucci. Are the sequels any good? I know people enjoy them. Are they as good as this first one?
I don't know. I honestly.
This fucking
Okay, I'll be
movie
honest
is
with you. The third
awesome.
one, I haven't really seen. I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
That's the one where they go to the Wild West.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I don't want to watch that. It just doesn't sound appealing. This movie is so fresh and so unique and so imaginative. And then in the third one, they're like, all right, let's go to the Wild West. That just sounds really weird to me. The future one, I understand. First one, you go to the past. Second one, you go to the future. So the third one, they're like, all right, we're out of fucking places. Let's fucking take them to the Wild West.
You gotta at least see the second one.
Yeah, I probably. I feel more inclined to watch that one than the last one. I don't know. This is a perfect movie. I love the shit out of this movie. I guess we should.
When was the first
Wait.
time you saw this?
Just a few years ago. I want to say it was either 2014 or 2015. Because I know, like, there was a big hoopla around, like, the 30th anniversary when it was like,
Yeah.
it's 2015 and where's all the hoverboards and stuff. I
Didn't
definitely
Nike
saw
make
it
the
before
sneakers?
that. Yeah, they did. Those futuristic retro looking sneakers, they did, yeah. They gave one a pair to Michael J. Fox.
Yeah,
was nice.
yeah.
So there's a lot of references in Ready Player One, yeah, Ivan?
Oh yeah, a ton. More than you can catch in the first viewing.
So many references. So we took a long fucking time trying to figure out what movie we wanted to discuss. We wanted to pick something that was maybe referenced in the book, then maybe something that was referenced in the movie and not so much the book. And then I watched a couple of movies referenced in both of them. I didn't like War Games, and I didn't care much for Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Am I a shitty person, Ivan? I don't know.
Yes.
So that's why we settled on Back to the Future. There's pretty clear, distinct references in both the book and the movie. In the movie, he clearly drives a DeLorean and has a Robert Zemeckis cube where he can time travel. Not technically time travel. He can revert time back 30 seconds. How does that work in, like, video games? You're playing a game. How does everyone go back 30 seconds?
I don't know, and I just don't think about it.
So, because imagine you're in your suit, right? You're in your... Are you forced to go, like, move backwards in your suit? Like, you have no control, no command of your body.
Well,
It's
see, then
taking
how
you
would
back.
that work? Like, if you got killed within those 30 seconds, like, do you just come back to life? Do you, like, just disappear?
And how does it only affect that world? Because not every world would go back 30 seconds, right? That'd be a little weird.
Yeah.
Does what's the radius on that Zemeckis cube? I don't know. There's a lot of questions that the movie left unanswered. Like if there's people wearing the goggles, the VR goggles, and they're just running down the street. How do they not hit a wall or something? That sounds pretty dangerous.
Or get killed immediately by a car. But look. This is a movie you just don't fucking think too much about. Just shut the fuck up and enjoy it, okay? That's all you have to do. Just shut the fuck up and enjoy it.
Well, sometimes I think it's like you can sometimes see things in your periphery vision. But I don't know, man. It's a fun movie.
So, we saw Ready Player One.
Yeah, a few weeks ago. So we're really late on this commentary track.
Yeah, life gets in the way sometimes, guys. We're sorry.
Yeah, it's getting a little harder to put these together, but we're here. We've been fucking talking about Ready Player One for months, and god damn it, we'd be damned if we didn't talk about it on one of our commentary tracks. Alright, now why does Doc need to set his clocks exactly 25 minutes behind?
Because he traveled through time. I don't fucking know, man.
Like all of them. Every single one of them. Doc, are you telling me it's really 8:25?
Alright, so...
Do you want to do this the same way we did Pacific Rim? Where we'll break down Ready Player One via its story, and then its characters, and then technical aspects and themes, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Anything you want to add right now about Back to the Future before we switch gears?
It's a really good movie. Definitely one of like the classic sci-fi movies. Check it out. Yeah.
Do you love this movie, Ivan?
I wouldn't say I love it. I definitely enjoy it.
That's the power of love, Ivan. That's the power of love. That's what a cheesy ass song, yeah. This movie holds up. I don't know about that song. That song is very much of its time.
Let's just start.
So that guy, was he in War Games too? This bald guy?
I don't. Who would he be?
Well, because I just recently watched it, and I swear I recognize that bald face. I'm not sure if anyone hears this. I'm sure they'll let me know, but I don't even know who that actor is, so I wouldn't even know what to look up. Bald principal guy, Back to the Future filmography.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought I recognized him. I just thought it was an interesting. It's not an Easter egg, but an interesting little tie-in from War Games to this movie. If you wanted to add anything about War Games as well, since I know that's the movie you really did want to talk about or watch.
Yeah, I don't know. Just War Games was referenced more so in the book. I don't think it. If it did have a reference, I didn't catch it, which that's totally believable. I mean, there's so many references in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's break it down, man. I want to start talking about it. I'm quite eager to talk about it.
Yeah. So we've been waiting to talk in depth about Ready Player One to ourselves, so we've been holding it in so we can talk to you guys as well. All right, Ivan, the story. Let's break it down. What's the story? What's going on?
All right. So if you seen or read the Ready Player One, the book, it's
absolutely nothing like the book.
Yeah. It's not as bad as, let's say, World War Z, where like the book and the fucking movie only had like two things in common: the name of the movie and zombies.
Barely, if that.
Yeah. So, yeah, actually, because weren't they fast zombies?
They were very fast.
Yeah, no,
and then their
the
cure
books,
was
yeah. So it's not like that level, but basics. Wade Owen Watts, lives in Columbus, Ohio. Doesn't in the book. Lives in like Oklahoma City or something. I'm bad at this. You do it.
So you got this kid, Wade Watts, and he's living in poverty. It's a futuristic dystopian society. They're living on trailer parks that are stacked vertically up on top of each other, and the world's pretty much shitty, and no one cares anymore. It's all about escapism. They got this Internet 2.0. It's called the Oasis. It's a virtual reality. It's free. Anyone can access it. But the state of the Oasis is in jeopardy because the creator has died, and now there's an Easter egg hunt that will give its winner complete control of the Oasis, as well as $500 billion. I think that is $500 billion.
Yes, $500 billion.
So everyone in the world, from Wade Watts to like evil business corporations, want to win this Easter egg hunt so they can have complete and total control of the Oasis.
Yeah, it's like they say like the Oasis is like the biggest economy in the world, and like everything's done through the Oasis nowadays. Like movies, like voting for your president and stuff like that. Commerce.
Everything. You can do anything inside of the Oasis. You can be anyone you want, anywhere you want, do anything with anyone. It's just so expansive. And the movie takes place, basically, most of the people inside of the Oasis are these teens, where our story picks up anyway. There's these teens that are very much into 80s pop culture, 80s nostalgia.
And let's say that all this rebirth of like the 80s nostalgia comes from this contest that Halliday, the creator of the Oasis, made because he was obsessed with 80s pop culture because he grew up in the 80s.
Growing up in the 80s, yes.
So it's pretty clear that the contest has to do with 80s pop culture stuff. Also, by the time this movie started, the contest has been going on for like 3 or 4 or 5 years.
I think 5 years. Yeah. So it's a pretty hard Easter egg hunt for people to crack, which we'll get into in a little bit. And the people feel like the more they know about James Halliday and his personal life and what he grew up into, which is why they're so much into 80s pop culture, it will help them on their quest to find the Easter egg.
Yeah.
That's essentially the story of the book. If you really, really break it down, it's just kind of the way in which events unfold and the specifics of reaching the Easter egg is completely different from how the story in the book unfolds.
Yeah. Also, time frame. Like,
yeah, how long does it?
Ready Player One took place over like at least a year.
In the book.
In the book, like minimum of a year. I think it's actually like 2 years. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
In the movie, it's probably like a brisk weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie happens really fast. I mean, you got the opening where it's been 5 years, and then it's basically about a day or something.
Yeah.
It's not important, but it is a substantial change.
Well, it is important, I guess, to me, in a sense that we'll get into later when we talk about the characters, but
sure.
Yeah, no, that's the first thing I kind of wanted to bring up is just time frame's a little bit different from the book. It gets a little weird in some parts because of it.
Yeah.
But like I said, we'll get into that in characters, but I don't think it's detrimental at all.
No, there's nothing particularly distracting about how the time frame works. It's just an interesting side note. So, being a big fan of the book, how often do you read the fucking book or listen to the audiobook?
At minimum once a month, sometimes twice.
That's absurd. Being such a huge fan of the source material, how do you feel about the movie's story being so drastically different?
All right, so let me go through like a roller coaster of emotions I've had throughout the years.
Go ahead.
Because when I first heard about this movie, I was like, "Holy shit, this is great! I fucking love this. I'm gonna go support this as much as I can." Then some leaks came out. I got wind of some of the plot points that were gonna happen, and I saw that was pretty like drastically different from like what I was anticipating. And then,
Yeah.
me and you, we had arguments over this where I was kind of like, nah, this is bullshit. This is absolutely horrible. They're going to, like, make a bastard child out of this book I love and this and this. Yeah. And, after some arguing with you, I kind of got through my head, like, all right, it's going to be its own separate thing. I can't expect the book, but, whatever it is, I'm sure it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Like, Spielberg working on it, Ernest Cline was, like, credited for writing it, right?
I was going to ask you how you felt about it. Because Ernest Cline wrote the damn thing.
Yeah.
So it's not like somebody took the material and was like, yeah, whatever, I'll do whatever I want. No, the author of the book actually spent his time writing the movie.
Yeah.
So all of the differences that people may or may not like come from the author itself. And I thought that was an interesting thing to point out.
Yeah. So, like, I definitely... I came into this expecting something different and being okay with that. And I did get something different, and I absolutely loved it. Like, it's still like the humor I liked from the book. It's still like the little nerdy stuff here and there, the small references. I loved it.
Yeah, I think it captures the essence and the spirit of the book really well. I think it improves upon the book in a lot of ways, and I think there are some things that do fall short. Yeah, as you know, book to movie adaptations, there's always going to be things that are lost.
Yeah.
So I think some character development got lost along the way, but we got a fucking visual treat that I don't think was present by just reading a book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The visual spectacle, just seeing the Oasis and how it looks and operates was awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think not everyone would have had that picture by just reading the book itself.
Yeah, there's a few things I wish they had like the rights for.
Yeah, you can't get everything.
Yeah, that's understandable, but
the biggest one probably being Ultraman.
Yeah.
Did you want Ultraman, or is there anything else specifically you would have liked to seen?
Honestly, what are they called? The mechs from Neon Genesis, Evangelion.
Uh-huh.
The units, yeah, like Unit 1, Unit 2. I thought that'd be pretty cool. Because I know, like, they mentioned them in the books, like, Sorrento's men, they have some of the mechs from Evangelion. And I was like, that'd be fucking badass to see, but, you can't get them all.
Yeah. Were you happy with the amount of references that you did see?
I was, and I was happy with the amount of references that were, like, referencing the book.
Okay, sure.
Because, like, a few things, like, I noticed, especially towards the end, when Wade's or Parzival is in Halliday's bedroom after he won a contest.
Yeah.
There's a few posters for, like, War Games, Joust, Rush 2112, Black Panther or Black Tiger, all things that, were, key, like, gates and, like, location.
From the book.
Yeah, from the book.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to see that,
Yeah, definitely. I had a point and I just lost it. Okay, because it's interesting to see how people are receiving this movie. I think generally people are positive about it, but it's interesting to see how people are reacting, specifically those who have read the book and are seeing the movie, and those who haven't read the book and are seeing the movie. Because from what I can gather, people who haven't read the book are like, what the fuck is this clusterfuck of references that I'm watching?
Yeah.
And then people who have read the book, a lot of them are complaining about all the differences from novel to movie. And I don't know, I don't see it. To me, if you remove all the references, every single one of them, every single pop culture reference, you still have a pretty awesome movie about a kid who has to go on this journey inside a virtual reality world that very much intrigues me. So I don't understand where some of the negativity is coming from. I mean, of course, I understand that every movie is going to have its negative, comments and its naysayers. I just the the references and all the allusions to pop culture, they never felt distracting to me. Every now and then I'd go, hey, there's a thing, hey, that's a thing, but it was never like in your face. Here's war games, down your face. You reference, you know what I mean? It never was. It was never distracting to me.
Man, I don't know, man. And there, when I went to see it the second time, there's definitely people who were complaining about it. I remember one person in particular that was behind me was like, just read the book. That's all I gotta say. Just read the book.
Really?
Yeah, and I was just like, dude, stop being such a fuck. Read the book, sure, absolutely, support the book, but at the same time, it's like, this isn't the book. I mean, it's its own independent thing.
Yeah, the movie is the movie. I don't understand. Do people not get the concept? Because I've even seen critics say the same thing. Oh, it's not like the book. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were a book critic. That you're even some of my favorite critics on YouTube or whatever, just comparing how dry the material in the book can be in comparison to, say, something like The First Gate is like the most boring, uneventful thing. You're sitting down in a cave playing Joust. That's the first challenge. And then in the movie, it's a fucking car race and there's explosions and King Kong and there's a T-Rex and it's a movie. Of course there's going to be differences.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I think all of the changes in the movie were justified. I understand why they did it. I accepted why they did it. And I had a fun time because of that.
Anything else you want to bring up about the story?
Do you want to talk about the challenges? Because I have some issues with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love that the movie starts out and it's immediately different than the book. Because it already puts you in that state of mind, You'll know by the first 5 minutes whether or not you're going to enjoy how different it is from the book. Because it starts off with a fucking car race, and there is no such thing present in the book.
None.
And I love the car race. I thought it was so much fun because it felt like a video game, which is what part of the Oasis was meant to be originally. It made sense to me. I don't buy for 1 second that it took 5 years for someone to figure out that to win the challenge, you just had to go backwards.
Dude, I agree with you 100% because I'm not gonna lie, I go backwards all the time in racing games.
Just someone would have figured that out immediately. Just like the first fucking race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many things you go wrong on purpose. You go backwards on purpose, or even just fucking on accident. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just how easy it is. Imagine just, I don't know. The race doesn't make sense to me when I think too much about it. Also, a race isn't exactly an Easter egg hunt. It's a race. You know what I mean? It doesn't take any wit to win a race. And it doesn't take much skill to go backwards. You just go backwards.
But
I don't know.
You had to go through the Halliday journals and see.
No, see that's the thing. You didn't have to go through the Halliday journals just to go backwards. That's such an obscure thing that he said. He's like, you really got to put the pedal to the metal. I was like, I did roll my eyes because I'm like, what the fuck kind of reference is that? That was your clue? Anyone could have figured that out without having to go to his journal place. Like, I would have gone backwards. Just for fuck's sake. Like, you would have been mad. Like, if we were playing that race, you would have been like, no, David, you can't go backwards. We got to win. I'm like, no, I just want to fuck around real quick.
Yeah.
And it would have cost us the race, or I would have won. Like, that's how easy it would have took. Because it's not something that requires wit. It's
not capture the flag in Titanfall, you can fuck around and win, it's not like,
I don't
inside
know.
joke there.
I can understand. I maybe we'll talk about it one day.
Still hate you. Yeah, no, I definitely feel that, man, and like the whole time I was kind of like, nah, that's super easy. That would have been figured out within the year of the hunt being started.
I would have been figured out so fast. Like, how many people fuck around with races and shit and discover? Like, how long did it take, even for the game that's referenced at the end with the first Easter egg? Like, how long did it take for someone to find the Easter egg?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Was it 5 years? Because that's as simple as an Easter egg can possibly get. And just going backwards in a race is pretty fucking simple. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then you have the second challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also great because it's probably the best fucking reference to The Shining anyone has ever had ever. But the key is so fucking obscure that I don't think anyone ever would have been able to figure out that clue ever. Like, in 1,000 years, no one would have been able to figure that out. What was it? It was that he was afraid to kiss a girl or dance with a girl.
Yeah.
That was the thing. That's what someone had to figure out. They had to go to the Overlook Hotel and dance with a girl. It's just so... How do you, like, put that together? Like, the first challenge requires absolutely no wits whatsoever, and then the second one requires, like, fucking astrophysics and fucking quantum mechanics fucking scientists to try and fucking work that out. It just made no sense to me. It got me mad. It got me mad because if I was a Gunter, I wouldn't have got it.
Maybe if you were as good as Parzival, you would have.
Did he even get it, or was that Artemis? Artemis got it first.
Yeah. They both did it.
They eventually all did it, but I just didn't quite understand how it was happening. Because if it took 5 years, and this goes back to some of the length issues I think you might have been talking about. It takes 5 years for someone to figure out how to race. And then they just figure out the second clue instantly. Like, no problems at all.
Yeah.
They just get to it and it's done. And that's the harder challenge. I don't understand. I don't understand how, even after they finished the challenge, how did IOI get there? How did they figure out what that challenge was if figuring it out was so fucking obscure? And then they beat them to the third challenge.
You just don't have to think about it that much.
No, because I love this movie, and it's my favorite movie of the year so far. I got some issues with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
No movie is perfect. And then the third challenge was fine. It's exactly what happens in the book, and there's a fight. There's a massive fight. Mechagodzilla's there, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
That fight is everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah. You saw Mechagodzilla. You saw some Spartans.
That's all I wanted. All I wanted was to see Mechagodzilla. Like, I know I'm the one who was saying, you know, man, it's a book. It's a movie, man. You can't, like, expect it to be the same. I would have been really sad if I didn't see Mechagodzilla, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I wanted. They play his theme song and everything. It was great.
Gundam.
I choose the form of Gundam. That was a good use of replacing Ultraman.
Yeah.
I think that worked great. I don't think it was so clear as to who's the one who chooses Gundam.
Daito.
Was that Daito? Not
Yeah.
Sho. Sho's
Yeah.
the little one?
Yeah.
What the fuck was Daito doing?
He was
Before
just,
that?
I don't know, meditating or some shit. He was just like,
chilling there?
I'm not going to get into fight yet.
Why?
There's a lot to ask, and I don't have any answers for any of them.
Was that in the book at all? Was he doing anything like that?
No, he
Or
died in
was-
the book.
He died for real?
Do you remember?
No, I don't remember. It's been a long time since I read the book.
Okay, so in the second gate, while they're at the, remember when he has to get to Captain Crunch? And, Doc Brown just got fucked up by an AK.
The Libyans got him.
Oh no! In the book, they're at the tomb, not the tomb horrors, the dwelling long neglected. Yeah. And he's collecting all the trophies because he has to blow the whistle, but he can't before the trophies are all collected. After Parzival got it, Shoto and Daito go to get it too. Mm-hmm. The Sixers show up, and I guess like Daito's like, "Hey, go finish getting this shit. I'm gonna stay here and like stall the Sixers." And I guess like he turned into Ultraman using the beta capsule. But like right before the capsule ran out, I guess the Sixers broke into his apartment in Japan.
Oh shit!
And then like they picked him out of his chair and they're like, "Fuck you," and they threw him out the window.
Oh, I think I do remember.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fucked.
And then like there's like a video recording that Parzival later finds when he infiltrates the
The fucking IOI wasn't playing around in that book.
No.
I feel like they were much more menacing in the book than in the movie. In the movie, they're just like a business. They just want to.
In the movie, I feel like they're more cartoon menacing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm evil. I'm gonna do what I need to because you're a kid.
I want to charge people money.
Yeah. In the book, they're just like, hey, you're in my way. Boom! Fucking gunshot to the face.
Yeah, I remember when I first read that they blew up the stacks. I was like, fuck.
Like, this is some real shit.
In the movie, it happens, and then you're like, okay, that's over.
Yeah, in the book, he's, like, going through everybody that died, and, like, Mrs. What's her name getting killed.
Oh, yeah. I don't think she even died in the movie. I think she's there at the end when he's, what's his name? Ben Mendelsohn, he's there with the gun. I believe she's there, still alive. Like, in the crowd of people that's around him. I was like, oh. Okay.
I guess
I remember feeling sad that she died. Because she's in the beginning of the movie where she goes, hi, wait. And then he just ignores her.
Yeah.
Like an angsty teen. Yeah. I forgot about that. I guess because that's part of the book where it's important to realize that not all of these characters are conveniently located in Columbus, Ohio.
Yes.
That annoyed me in the movie.
Everyone's
in Columbus, Ohio. Just everyone's there.
Oh, Artemis, we've been like a block away from each other this whole time.
That was stupid to me. Like even Ogden Morrow shows up. Like he's there. Like H and Daito and Sho, they're just there. And I'm like, oh, what? There's never. It just felt weird to see, knowing that the Oasis is so expansive and you can travel like the whole fucking cosmos of the digital world, and go so far and connect with so many different people, that all of your digital friends were in about a 5-mile radius of each other.
Yeah.
That was really stupid to me. And I wish that was different. I don't know. Anything else in the story you want to talk about?
Sorry, I was looking at the movie. It's kind of funny.
This is where he Twin Pines becomes Lone Pine, right? Because he hits it with a car.
Yeah.
They think he's an alien or some shit.
Yeah.
No, yeah, there he goes. Now, is it because of this movie? Like, didn't this movie save the DeLorean? Like, weren't they going under? Because it's like a shitty car or something.
No, they went under for different reasons, I believe. They went under because I guess the owner of the DeLorean was arrested for like drug smuggling.
No shit.
Yeah, no. If I remember correctly, like someone found like a fuck ton of cocaine inside the body panels of his DeLorean.
Oh, fuck.
And they're just like, "Oh, you're drug smuggling." And he was like, "Nah." And they're like, "Yeah, you are. You're going to jail."
That's nuts.
But no, it definitely had like a revival, I guess, or at least made it popular for this movie.
Yeah.
Still pretty strong cult following for DeLoreans.
Like that specific year and model?
Not that specific year model, but just DeLoreans in general. In fact, I think
Yeah.
there's a company. I can't remember where they're at. I think they're in Las Vegas or somewhere on the West Coast, where they have a bunch of new old stock, which is basically just like DeLorean made a bunch of parts. They just kind of kept
Yeah.
them in the warehouse forever.
Yeah.
And they like either refurbish or build DeLoreans like from scratch using all those old parts. They sell for pretty high up. It's a shitty car.
I'm
Don't get me
sure.
wrong.
Yeah. Would you ever drive one?
Oh, I drive one, but like it'd be a shitty car to drive. I mean, like
Sure.
it's super heavy because it's all steel, and we're getting sidetracked. But yeah,
No, no. This is absolutely important. We got an hour and a half. Like we'll be fine.
we'll be fine. Regarding the story of Ready Player One, I mean, honestly, I just it just feels like one of those feel good Spielberg movies, you know.
Yes. This is
It,
my
you know what it
favorite
felt like?
Spielberg movie. Yeah. What?
It felt like I was watching The Goonies 2.0.
Sure. I could see that.
You know,
This
it's
is
like future Goonies.
future Goonies. A This is definitely my favorite Spielberg movie in a long ass time.
Mm-hmm.
Like probably since Jurassic Park, which was 20 fucking years ago, which is insane. You know, talking about someone as talented as Spielberg. I think this was his biggest opening since then too, box office wise.
Yeah.
I think it made 50 million on its weekend,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah, I think you actually beat me on that one. I know the last one for Black Panther, I beat you.
Yeah.
And then this one, you beat me. Because I think I said 80 million.
You said like 70, 80. I was like, whoa there, buddy. That's really high. I think I pegged it somewhere around 45. And like
Yeah.
that was really pushing it. So 50 million is good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Weren't they only expecting like 35 or something?
Yeah, when the first numbers came around, it was looking about 25, 30 million. And for a blockbuster movie, that's really low. But I think that's just goes to show Spielberg's track record recently. You know, he's made a lot of smaller um, independent movies that are more dramatic in tone. You know, he really hasn't made like a big summer blockbuster action adventure film
Yeah.
in like over 10 years. So I think people didn't know what to expect coming out of this movie. You know, like would he be able to recapture that magic? Would all these references, you know, 80s pop culture, would they all work? And I think that South by Southwest premiere really helped it out because all the positive word of mouth started to spread.
Yeah, it definitely helped out.
Yeah, I wonder how much money it's made so far. I'm gonna look it up, the numbers right now as of this recording. Ready Player One. I'm gonna look up the worldwide total. Just because trying to figure out worldwide and domestic totals can be a bitch. Mr. Sandman.
Give me a dream. Do, 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 do.
It's something I'd ever seen. Boom, boom. I'm surprised they didn't see anyone talking about VR chat when talking about Ready Player One.
Mm.
Okay, I'll explain myself in a second. It's currently made $400 million worldwide.
Okay.
That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
That's already double its budget. So, accounting for marketing, it's probably broken even already. So, it's, what's the word? It's a profit, Ivan. It's made a profit.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. What was I saying? VR chat?
Yes.
Part of the reason why the references don't bother me at all in the movie You know, like, oh, here's Gundam, there's Mechagodzilla, there's the bike from Atari, there's the thing from this thing, is because that really happens. Like in real life, in the most rudimentary versions of like social virtual reality, that really fucking happened. VR chat became a fucking breeding ground for internet memes and pop culture avatars. Like Uganda Knuckles went everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no shit, people in the internet 2.0 would go around using pop culture fucking avatars that they're familiar with, because those are the things they like. Like, it really happened. Why? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't know. Maybe just VR chat didn't gain enough popularity until after the movie's already like in production or post production.
Like, is it dead? Is it dead already? Does no one you go on VR chat anymore?
No, I'm pretty sure it's still like active, but just the memes have died out.
No, I'm pretty sure. Like, if I made an account right now and I logged in, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'd find like Ed and Eddie thing over there. There's someone. There's the Powerpuff Girls. There's Mojo Jojo. There's
Uganda
thing. There's a
Knuckles.
thing. There's a swarm of Uganda Knuckles. Here's 5 anime characters. There's Gundam. There's Ben Swolo. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's just what people like to do. So I don't understand why people are eye rolling over all this pop culture nostalgia, because that's what people are really like in real life. It's almost eerie to think about.
Some people just like to kind of shit on everything, man.
Yeah. It's gonna be weird as shit if, like, say VR chat did take off, like, real fucking, like, far more than it already has, and, like, the Oasis was just, like, around the corner for realsies. That'd be, like, weird. Like, we'd be living in the future now, already.
Alright, anything else you want to add for your story?
No, I think that's about everything. I'm sure if I think of something, I'll bring it back up.
Alright, you want to move on to characters?
Some characters, or lack thereof, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Wade Watts.
Okay, so, you mind if I start?
No, go ahead. Go for it.
So, alright, I hate this because this is one of my biggest issues. Is because, one, Wade,
With the
it
movie?
feels like...
Or
Yes, it's the movie.
Okay.
It just feels like Wade doesn't go through the arc,
Yeah.
Throughout the movie, Wade goes through this arc where, like, the Oasis is everything for him. And then he kind of, like, it gets to a point where he realizes, like, damn, this is just all an illusion. Like, my real life shit. What the fuck? And then he goes through a point where, at the end, he's just like, yeah, no, it's like you have to use it in moderation, but at the end of the day, the real world's the best thing out there.
Yeah.
And he doesn't go through, like, any sort of character arc, I feel like. He's just kind of stagnant throughout the movie.
Yeah.
2, there's no development really for any of the characters at all, just because they were introduced so rushed and quickly. It's like, you got to see the relationship between H and Parzival. Yeah, they had a relationship prior, but you still got to see, like, it, how they used to hang out and everything. I don't want to say friendliness, but like the least mutual respect that Daisho and Parzival had together.
Yeah.
Because, like, in the book, they were kind of cold. You're, like, not hostile, but just not, buddy-buddy either.
Right.
From the start.
And in the movie, it's just a circle of friends already. They
like,
just
hey,
start
best
off
friend?
and they're all just...
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Also, I guess one of the biggest things I want to talk about, too, is just, like, he basically admits his love for Artemis within, like, a day or two.
No, that I bought. That I bought because he's a stupid kid. You know what I mean? I didn't believe that it was real love. It's that, oh my God, you're like this perfect epitome of what I think I should love, and therefore I love you. even though I've only known you for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some people where they disillusion themselves with what they think their image of the perfect girl should be, and especially since it's a virtual world and Artemis can be fucking anyone. You like a fucking guy 30 years old in his mom's basement, you know, like you don't know. So he just disillusioned himself, and he saw like, oh, I think I love you, and she puts him down. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't go with it. She goes, she everything I just said, she tells him like, I could fucking be this old fat guy. Like you don't know anything about me. Like this is real. You're living in a fantasy. So I love that she put him down. She put him in his place instantly. But then it doesn't matter because they get together in the end anyway.
Yeah.
So whatever.
It doesn't matter.
So, yeah, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, not like a pen pal, but like if you meet someone online, and you develop this idea about who they may be in your head, and then you just become infatuated with that idea. And I believed that. I didn't believe he truly loved her. I think.
But you can believe the idea that he loved her. Yeah. You didn't believe he loved her. You believe that he thinks he loves her.
Exactly. Correct.
Okay.
And I love that she put him down instantly.
I can see your argument. Yeah, I can definitely see it. Another thing I had, and I guess it's just more of an issue with Hollywood in general. It's just in the book there are completely different like appearances.
Was she a little chubby, or was he a little chubby?
They're both a little chubby. In the book, Artemis is described as having like a Baroquean sort of feel, which I don't know if you're familiar with like older art, but I'm not either. But I had to look this shit up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a pretentious fuck. It's kind of like, you know, those paintings where it's like the chubbier people.
I have the vaguest of ideas of what you may be talking about.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of something like that. Let me see if I can look it up.
Sure. But yeah, what you're trying to say is they're kind of average looking in the book, and in the movie they're like the two most beautiful kids ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Average, or a little bit chubbier. Like even in the book, they talk about how like Parzival was already kind of chubby to begin with.
Yeah.
And then like he gained a lot of weight because of the depression from Artemis dumping him. And then he had to activate the Oasis like a fitness lockout where he had to work out every day, monitor his intake. And like apparently in the book, like he went from being chubby to like, you know, being toned and fit and bald as fuck.
Did he?
Yeah.
Was he ripped?
Yeah.
Was he? I don't remember that. I remember he got kind of chubby when she broke up, because they did kind of get together, and then she like left, right? Like, was it? I think it was kind of after the second gate too, right? She just leaves him.
Basically, like in the book, they originally there's kind of like a mutual respect where they're just like, yeah, it's cool, and then he messages her once a week, and she's like, hey, I'm busy, don't fucking talk to me. He keeps messaging her. Eventually, they start talking every day and hanging out. Then eventually they do start like kind of cyber dating, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like Artemis was the one that kissed him originally in the book, at first. Then they both just kind of like shrug off the quest or the Easter egg hunt just to kind of like hang out with each other.
Oh, because they both get distracted with each other.
Yeah, they go to Ogden Morrow's birthday party at Distracted Globe, and that's when the Sixers attack. But right before the Sixers attack, Parzival's like, "I love you, Artemis," and she's like, "Nah, like nah." She shut him down pretty quick too. She was like, "You don't fucking know me. It's weird.
Right?
Like, we can't do this shit. We're distracting each other." Then the Sixers show up, and they're all like, "All right, yeah, I'll see ya."
So similar scene, but just for different motivations with what happens in the book, in the movie. Okay, I remember that very vaguely. I remember reading something like, "I can't let you distract me anymore."
Yeah.
In the movie, it's more like, you think this is reality, but this isn't real. Like, this is all just a game to you.
Yeah, like you're only seeing what I want you to see me as.
Right. Okay. Yeah, in the movie, they know each other instantly. As soon as they race, they're like, "That's the Artemis," and then they're talking to each other. I was like, okay.
I didn't like how, like, they also made her or I guess like birthmark, like less pronounced.
Yeah, it's like they were trying to hide the birthmark.
It's like because like in the book, like it's pretty big. It's like almost half your entire face.
Yeah.
And I guess here they're just like, oh, it's a little bit underneath my hair, and then every time they show it, it's just like, oh, you're fucking hideous. It's just like, no, that's not bad at all, not at all.
She's beautiful. Like
Yes.
she is, like, she has a birthmark. So what? Like she's a lot beautiful, a lot more beautiful than what I thought they were going to introduce her as. No offense on the actress's part. This is probably going to come out wrong, but I'm going to say it anyway. That actress isn't the prettiest, you know? Like, and I thought they casted her that way on purpose because of her description in the book. And she was in another little indie movie this year called Thoroughbreds, where she plays like a fucking sociopath. And so, just naturally, due to her character, she doesn't look the prettiest. She looks like a strange girl. And I thought that's what they were going to go with in the movie. So when I saw her in Thoroughbreds as a sociopath, I'm like, hey, that's Artemis. This is what I can picture Artemis being. But then they totally like beautified her and made her so pretty, and oh, my hair, it's so buoyant, and oh, I'm hideous because of this little birthmark right here. Like, no, you clearly look absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Like,
just like
anyone would date her. Anyone would date her. You'd have to be like the shallowest of shallow people to not want to date her.
Based on looks.
Yes.
Wasn't she? She was in like a few other movies, wasn't she too?
She hasn't been in a lot. She was in
Bates
Thoroughbreds,
Motel.
like I said, and she was in a little indie film. I think it might have been one of her first films called Me and Earl and the Dying Girl.
Yes.
That has to be like really early on her filmography.
Yeah.
She hasn't been in a lot. But she's really good. I mean, she's good as Artemis.
Yeah.
It's just what they did to her physical description isn't all that believable, I don't think.
Yeah. I sent you a photo of kind of like what they described like the body type being from that like time period.
I shall open this image and see what it is you are talking about. Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. These weird ass paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
But like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, yeah, there's a lot of it that just it bothered me about it. I hate the fact that, like I said, there just wasn't any development of the characters. You didn't grow attached to them. Just kind of like, oh, H is my best friend. Like, he makes cool ships. LOL. And then all of a sudden,
and
fucking H
like
shows
that's it.
up.
Like that's
yeah. And it's like H's reveal, like the fact that she's not actually a, white male, and she's actually like a black female, like in the book. That's like a massive point because you're just kind of like, oh my god. And then Parzival, or Wade's even like, it doesn't matter. Like in the book, he talks about like it doesn't matter because we've been friends for so long, and like this and this and whatever. And in the book, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I'll explain later. And he's just like, okay.
Yeah. Okay, we're moving on. Yeah. I mean, how it happens in the movie, you don't really have time to explain it. You know what I mean? But I thought they ruined H's reveal in the marketing. Like, you can see H in the trailers and the posters, even like just character posters where they show the character and then their avatar. You can clear as day see that H is this black girl, and so when you're in the movie, I'm sure that confused some people who like weren't sure it was supposed to be a reveal, So I thought that was just butchered in the marketing, which is sad because they do try and make it a reveal in the movie.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel important, so I was like, I don't know. If it wasn't important, then why even do it to begin with?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Also, I didn't like how incompetent they made Nolan Sorrento.
In terms of what?
Okay, so in the book, Nolan Sorrento actually, like, you know how in the movie he's kind of like, hey, I crack open the tab and I play, Robotron. this, and
yeah,
this.
I know games and John Hughes high schools. Yeah.
No, like in the movie, or in the book, I should say, he actually is pretty good at the games. Like he knows what the fuck's up, and he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Actually, fun fact: if you don't know this, the guy who wrote The Martian and Artemis, Andy Weir, Andy Weir.
Yeah.
He actually wrote a piece of fan fiction for Ready Player One, and Ernest Cline was like, "Hey, this shit's fire. It's canon."
It's canon.
Yeah.
What was that? Because I remember you told me about it when it happened, but I don't remember at all what it was.
I think it's pronounced like Lazaretto or something. I can't remember how it's pronounced, but basically, it's known. It's like the story of this guy. He's like in a ship traveling to like some place in the Oasis, and he's arguing with two gunters, and he's like, "Yo, like you guys are fucking stupid. The Oasis is the worst fucking thing ever. Like, people get addicted to it and they can't live without it. They're just hiding what the fuck's actually going on in the real world. My sister died because of it, because she couldn't, like, get off of it, and she, like, killed herself or started death or whatever. And they're just like, nah, you're just a salty boy. Fuck off." Then he goes to, like, IOI, and they're like, hey, you're going to join us, and you're pretty good. You're going to become our new, like, director or something. And he's like, oh, cool, that's sweet. I'm going to do it. And then they're like, what's your name? Nolan Sorrento. And basically, it's describing that his entire reason for joining IOI and wanting to find a gate is because he wants to destroy it. He wants to, like, dismantle IOI and hit the big red button, like wiping it out. Not IOI, the Oasis.
Yeah. The button that we do get to see in the movie.
Yes.
He almost hits on accident.
Yeah. Where, like, in the movie, it's just like, no, I want to make money.
Yeah, I don't remember how Sorrento was portrayed in the book, other than what you just explained to me right now. I didn't remember it, and seeing him in the movie, he kind of just felt like your stereotypical business bad guy that you would see in a Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah,
like he feels like your fucking typical Steven Spielberg villain, and I understand why they went that route with him. I just wish there was a little bit more to him. I wish there was a little bit more to everyone in this movie. But I don't know, Sorrento the most, because I kind of see where he's coming from. Like, he was an intern for Halliday, and Halliday, of course, wanted to make the Oasis free or whatever. I'm sure Nolan Sorrento wasn't the only person who was thinking, hey, I don't know, why don't we charge people? Because that's just, how companies work. They just charge people stuff because they make money.
Small correction, the Oasis isn't free.
Is it a quarter?
Yes.
Is it a quarter in the movie? I remember it was a quarter in the book.
I don't know. I don't
remember if they specified. I know definitely in the book is a quarter.
Yeah.
I just don't remember. It was a small detail.
Yeah.
But so Sorrento though wanted to have like different levels of accounts, like a gold account, a bronze account, silver account, whatever, where you can have access different tiers of different things and whatever. And like that's how companies work. It's not that they're evil. It's just that they're a company and they want to profit. You know what I mean? Like
EA.
Any company.
Ubisoft.
would want
Rockstar.
Right? Companies for games of any games that you love are trying to make a profit. Like fucking Hollywood is an industry. They make movies not because they're artistic in value, but because they make money. Does that make them evil corporations? I don't know. I understand the reason why they made Sorrento the way they did. But like, I don't understand how that makes him an evil person. That's what I'm saying. I wish there was more to him other than I want to make money.
Honestly, I even feel they did a better job of describing like why people are freaking out about them wanting to charge money in the book than they did in the movie. Because like in the book, they talk about like how our generation, the one that's currently like playing for the EA, we've only known the world with the Oasis. And, like,
yeah,
it's always been free. It's always been the massive part of our life and like part of our system. And it's an escape for like all the horrible things that are happening right now.
yeah.
It's like trying to take it away is like trying to take away like like art or something from them.
Yeah.
And they do a very poor job of trying to explain that in the movie.
I think I might have the opposite because I remember I liked in the movie the look of the world. So I don't remember in the book how they described the worlds. I remember
in the book they described it as really fucked up. Like,
yeah, see, I don't remember that. See, so maybe that's why I thought it was better. Because from just what I can remember, and you can correct me right now after I finish, I just remember the Oasis kind of just being, we have nowhere else to go in the world, so we go into the virtual world, and we can just go and be wherever we want. And I didn't remember that the outside world was completely fucked. Like, it was shit. Like, and just no one wants to pay attention to real world problems anymore. So when they said that in the movie, I was like, oh, that's really interesting. But that was in the book. That's what you're saying?
Like the world being fucked up?
Yeah.
No, absolutely, dude. Okay, just some real quick points.
Yeah.
In the book, there's like 14 or 17 people in his trailer.
Oh yeah.
In their own trailer. I
forgot about that.
Yeah, there's like 4
in the
families
one
in
trailer.
There. Yeah, in the one trailer in a stack. They were stacked like 20 or 30 like trailers high. What else? There's multiple cities that were like just decimated from nuclear attacks. Like,
Shit.
Like they talk about like American cities just like being under a mushroom cloud. It was so bad when he was traveling from from Oklahoma City to Columbus, Ohio, that they had to have 4 armored guards on the bus because there was constant hijackings in between like the Badlands. In like the United States, like armed people just like taking over shit. Like massive like starvation, like just energy shortages everywhere. Like they had constant rolling blackouts, which is why they were saying that like Columbus, Ohio was such a massive place for being a gunter because 1, you had the Oasis right there, and 2, because of all the solar panels they had set up and like the heliostats, like it was the only place really in the U.S. where you had a constant supply of energy.
Okay.
Like in the book, like the world outside's really really fucked up.
Okay. And they only briefly mention it in the movie.
Yeah.
They just say, "Hey, it's fucked up," and that's
it. In the movie, they're just kind of like, I remember living through, or I was born after like the energy crisis, the brush fire wars, the like plague or whatever.
That's interesting. Yeah, they didn't do a great job with the world building, which sucked. Because I was so interested in this dystopian future that they created, but I feel like they don't do anything with it. Like in the book, there's a whole section where, Wade can't access the Oasis because they destroyed his, the stacks, and then he has to go he has to travel, like you were saying. There's a whole section about like the real world, and there's like no problem for him in the movie. It's just like, oh, you blew up my thing. Okay, let me go back in a thing. Like, there was and everyone, and that goes back to my issue with everything being in Columbus, Ohio, because everything was just so fucking convenient. There's a whole scene where like I remember Ogden Morrow had to take all the kids and make sure they were safe, and make sure they were in like a safe location away from IOI and away from the
they had to
Sixers.
like charter airplanes to fly them from Japan to Vancouver, and like H had to pick up Parzival from like different area.
And none of that happened.
No,
not that it needed to happen, but I think that goes all the more further with explaining how messed up the world is. And even so, no, go ahead.
No, I was about to say, I constantly say this about almost every movie we ever talk about, and it's truer for this one than any other one.
I know where you're going.
I wish they had some sort of like expanded universe, like extra thing I could like read or listen to or whatever. Because I want to know more about this world. Like I want to hear more. You know.
Yeah, it is such an interesting world, and part of that intrigue probably has something to do with how close to our society, how much closer to our society in the real world it may actually be than we expect it to be. You know what I mean? Like virtual reality, they're trying to kick it off. You know, like our real world. Are we gonna go into nuclear war with country? I don't know. Maybe our president will announce it on Twitter in 5 minutes. Like who knows? Like we don't know.
Yeah.
And I wish they took the time to explain that the worlds even further. Even the Oasis, I didn't think they did a great job of explaining what the Oasis is. Like we explained it, that they say it's the world's largest economic resource, but they never really go into why. So if you've never read the book, and this is where it's important for the book to enhance your experience, not so much influence your enjoyment of the movie, you can do anything in the Oasis. You don't have to be a fucking a virtual fucking 80s pop culture avatar. You can go to school there. You can do your finances there. You can get real estate done there. Like anything you can imagine, you can do in the Oasis. But in the movie, it kind of just comes across as a video game.
Yeah.
Like if you've never read the book and you've only seen the movie, you might question, why is everyone freaking out about this video game? It's just a video game. You know what I mean? I keep referencing it as the Internet 2.0 because I wish it was explained that way.
Yeah.
I wish it was explained as like the new version of the Internet that connected people in so many more ways than they expected it to do, and they just never really went that far. It just felt like a virtual video game.
Yeah, no, it really did. And like you were saying, like in the book, they describe it as like people like have businesses here. They have meetings. Like they go to school here. The daycares, you know, everything. And like it totally comes off as a video game, like completely.
Yeah, just like a fun
and
game.
I think it undermines like how important the Oasis is in this universe.
I agree, because then it makes Wade seem just like a kid who's disillusioned by this video game. Like, you know, like kids like, but mom, I don't want to stop playing my video game. As opposed to, no, this is really important that, you know, companies don't get control over this because it'll totally and completely change the way like everyday life works for people around the globe. It will change drastically and for the worse, and it'll fuck up economic resources.
Yeah.
But no, it's just a video game, so who cares?
It's just a game. Let's see. Oh, Ogden Morrow. I don't like how they did his character.
How so?
He basically shows up right at the end.
Yeah.
Like out of nowhere. It's just like, hey, I'm Ogden Morrow. I know you just got like chased throughout Columbus, Ohio. This guy had a gun in your face and you won the contest, but I'm here. Also, I totally know where the fuck you were right now.
Also, I was a robot butler for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, always. I had no time for myself. I was always at that journal center.
Also, I gave you a fucking free life because you proved me wrong.
That's what I do. You prove me wrong, you get a coin. That's why I've never been proven wrong before. But you proved me wrong, so I gave you an extra life. Does he give anyone an extra life? Like, how does that work? Does he have a lot of more of those quarters? He probably does.
Know.
He helps create the thing.
Another thing or another character I felt was a little weird. IROC.
Let's talk about IROC. Because T.J. Miller.
I-Rock in the book had such a minor role. Like, he's a kid from their schools who was kind of a dick and makes fun of Parzival.
Yeah.
Then he finds out that he's the one that found the key. And he's like, hey, tell me or I'm going to fucking tell everybody in the world that, you fucking found the key. And Parzival's like, eat a fat cock. I-Rock proceeds to tell everybody. And eventually, like, people find out it was Parzival. And then that's it. There's no other mention of I-Rock.
He doesn't show up ever again?
He's just an irrelevant fucking garbage human.
Yeah.
And then in this book, it's like, oh no, I'm a elite bounty hunter, a mercenary killer who has like decades of stuff saved inside of my fucking skull-shaped body. And I got hired by IOI to fucking track you down and murder you because fuck you.
I love what they did with I-Rock. And I think it's because he's not the I-Rock from the book. He is a 100% different character. Yes. Like, the two only share a name. That's it. So, I like this new character. Let's just call him a new character. Like no, don't even call him I-Rock. They made a new character in the girl, right? That girl, she's not in the book, right? I forget what's her name. Like, the girl who says, "You should let me do my job, Sorrento." You know.
Oh yeah. That was completely new.
Yeah, so I think they didn't have to call him I-Rock. He could have been fucking literally anyone, because he's basically a brand new character. But I think what they were gonna do with his character was like what you were saying. I'm an elite bounty hunter and I'm a hacker and I can find who you are. I can kill you. I'm this guy. Look at my skull body. I'm so awesome. I think they were gonna reveal that it was just T.J. Miller, and I think he was just gonna be a fucking nobody, like living in his mom's basement. You know what I mean? Like, in real life, he probably had no like applicable skills, and he's probably just like this fucking nobody. He's just like a weasel character. Like there's the bit where they're all about to blow up, and he's like, "Hey man, I got fucking 10 years worth of shit in here, man." Like, like he got scared.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna reveal that his character's underneath he's really just like this loser nobody. But he's the only character they don't show in the real world. He was probably conveniently located in Columbus, Ohio anyway, but I think they cut him out of the movie because of recent troubles that T.J. Miller has been getting himself into.
Really?
Have you not? Are you unaware of this whole T.J. Miller thing that's going on?
I definitely am.
He's been getting into trouble, and he just got into more trouble just yesterday. So there has been some sexual allegations involved. I'm not sure how true those are. I'm not sure if that...
Allegedly.
They're all alleged. But he has been getting himself into trouble on, like, productions. Like, on Silicon Valley, I'm not sure what the issues were there, but he's gone. He was a big part of the first few seasons, and now he's gone. And I'm not sure if that's because he was acting dramatic on set, if it was because of the allegations, if he was demanding too much money to return. Maybe it was a combination of all of those things. But he was getting himself into trouble on top of all of the sexual misconduct allegations. And just fucking yesterday, dude, get this. He got arrested because he fucking called 911 and lied to them about a bomb being on the train.
Why?
I don't fucking know. That is the strangest thing. Like, apparently he was is there like a first class equivalent on a train, or like coach or something, whatever? He
sure. Yeah.
And whatever. He was riding, and apparently he was intoxicated, and there was this woman that was bothering him. And not that she was bothering him so much as he was intoxicated and he felt like this woman was bothering him. So his response was to call the fucking fire squad, and the bomb squad. I don't know what are they called. You know what I'm talking about. Whatever. And he tells them that this lady is suspicious. She's checking her bag. It looks like she has something. She has a bomb. Like he's scared for his life. And so they go on the train that he's talking about. They stop the train. Everyone has to halt. Everyone has to, stay in the train. Procedures, whatever. He's not even on the train he said he was on. And they call him back and they're like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Oh, you know what? It's this other lady." So there's this whole kerfuffle going on. And so they finally find the train he's on. And they discover that there's no bomb. That for one reason or another, his intoxicated self decided to call 911 on false grounds. So they arrested him.
Jesus Christ.
And he might have made bond or bail, but it's looking like he might face up to 5 years in jail time.
What the fuck? Wasn't he just in Deadpool 2?
Yeah, and I believe me, I'm pretty sure they're really gonna cut down on his character. I'm surprised they kept him in Ready Player One at all. I expected his character to be completely absent. And realizing how big of a role IROC had, I'm pretty sure that's why they ended up cutting his real world scenes if they shot them at all, because we don't really know if they did shoot anything with him.
Yeah, this is all like assuming.
Right, I'm sure if that was the plan, that's why they did so. And I'm surprised they basically didn't even just recast his voice at that point.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would have been very hard to do like ADR or something.
Right, like if Ridley Scott can recast Kevin Spacey in like 2 weeks, you can recast a voice actor. Like, that's not that hard of an issue. Interesting.
Whatever happened with House of Cards? Did that get canceled?
It absolutely got canceled.
So there's just no ending?
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
You don't remember Dave Chappelle made that joke? Like, to the guy who waited 30 years to tell the world about how Kevin Spacey harassed him. If you would have just waited one more year, I would have found out how House of Cards ended. It's a horrible joke. It's funny, but it's horrible. But yeah, House of Cards, it's over.
Yeah, fuck IROC.
Yeah, I liked him in the movie. Like, for what I think they were going for. I like his character better in the movie than in the book. He's the only one. I think he's the only character I think improved in the movie. But that's because he's a completely different character. He's not the same IROC in the book.
I don't know, man. I think no matter how hard I try to like not compare the book and the movie, sometimes it still just kind of comes out.
No, like it's natural, you know? It's because that's your fucking source of origin. That's what you naturally would go to. I could say all the live long day, you know, they're two different things. I'm naturally gonna want to compare the two. Yeah. Because that's what I have to compare with each other.
Man, this would have been good if they did a miniseries on it.
Yeah, I think it would have been way too expensive though.
I don't care.
All the references and shit.
I don't care.
That would have costed way too much money.
Do it for the art.
But then you don't get any of the references.
Do it for... Just pay the money and have the studio do it because, you know... I don't know.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Anything else about characters you want to talk about?
Oh, I still have a lot I want to talk about.
Let's
Wade Watts. Wade Watts in the movie
is a wet paper bag.
I cannot tell you a goddamn thing about that kid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything about him. He's a kid. He likes video games. That's about it.
Like no personality at all.
None. He has no He's a brick with like a charming face. That's it. Like, yeah, that's about it. I will say though, what I did enjoy is that he's nowhere near as smug in the movie than he is in the book. In the book, he is annoyingly smug. Like,
what do you mean?
You're not better than me because I know this and this reference when Atari was released in this and this year, and the third thing that it made was released, but it was unofficial and it was a demo and blah de bloop bloop bloppity blop, and that's why I'm better than. That's in a lot of the book, man. He is a smug motherfucker. That's his character. Like he's smug. And he's not that in the movie.
Well, because he doesn't have any personality in the movie.
He doesn't have any personality at all, but at least he's not annoyingly smug. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. I'm just noting that I personally liked that because I didn't enjoy how smug he came across as in the book, even though that was his whole character arc. But I think it's the movie is better because he's just nowhere near as annoying.
Are you watching what's going on in the movie right now?
Yeah, they're I'm surprised we're this close to the ending already.
Yeah.
Is he wearing 3D glasses? Like what are those?
Yeah. I don't know, dude.
Also, are they getting high in the car?
Yes.
Is that weed? Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Can you see me in my background? Should I turn on my light?
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Okay, talk about something for 30 seconds.
I don't know. In the book, they kind of talk about how the Gunters are smug because that's kind of like all they do. It's like they have to one up each other. So I was saying that, like, in the book, they talk about, like, the Gunters are smug because they have to kind of, like, you know, it's all they do. You know, they have to one up each other. Right. I think Parzival even says, like, you know, masters of, like, one-upsmanship or something.
Yeah, and I hated that in the book. Because I guess it all comes down to the writing. When I read it, and just my interpretation, when I read all that one-upsmanship, I understand what Ernest Cline is going for, but it kind of just felt like Ernest Cline was just trying to prove his nerdiness to the world. I know all of these references, and here they all are in the book. Like, can we get back to the more intriguing story at hand about this dystopian world and the Oasis? Because that's again, what I personally enjoyed the most out of Ready Player One, the movie and the book, is the world. Is the Oasis and the dystopian future and what it means and the social commentary that may be at play even with our own world, and not so much about all of the pop culture references.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Wade Watts. Artemis, I think we talked about.
Okay,
her looks.
I want to talk a little bit more about Artemis real quick.
Yeah,
was it just me, or did she seem like she was just using him at first?
There are pieces where it felt that way. Did you like that or dislike that? Where you weren't sure?
I disliked that immensely.
Why?
I don't know. It just doesn't seem to fit her personality trait. Like in the book, she's very like, no, I'm gonna do this on my own. I don't need to clan up with anybody. Fuck that, YOLO.
Yeah.
And then, oh, maybe I misread it, or maybe I just didn't get it. But like, after she finds Parzival in the first gate, or like in the first area on Ludus.
Yeah.
she's kind of like, nah, bro, stick around. Maybe some shit will happen. Like if we both are here, and let's
Oh
talk
yeah, she does.
strategy.
She's much more flirty with him in the book. You're right.
Yeah. And then like in this, it's just kind of like, nah, fuck you. I'm gonna do what I want because I need to stop IOI. They're pieces of shit, and my dad was killed in the indenture facility.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, my entire like stack of homes and people I knew just got killed. So, you know, I get it. Like, shit's fucked.
Shit's
They try to kill me. Like, I know.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, no, I get that. Artemis. I liked her motivation in the movie. I guess I was kind of unsure about if she was using him or not too. But then there was a point where she said that. Where she directly says, I could be using you for all you know. And then I was like, oh, she's not using him. Like, that's...
One thing that kind of like irked me, or just like I didn't like, was when they're at the race and Parzival knows to go backwards.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know something, don't you? And then he's just not looking at her. And she's like, tell me. Like in that like flirty, like, oh. Like, tell me. It's like,
like in that, like she's a girl and she knows she can get away with it if she talks that way.
It's like, no, fuck off. I'm not going to tell you anything. Yeah.
I don't understand why she didn't watch what he did, because she knew something was up. I thought for sure when she was gonna see him go backwards, then she was gonna turn right the fuck around, and then she didn't. I was like, oh, okay.
I don't get it.
I don't know. But I did like her motivation, whereas in the book, she's just kind of a gunter, right?
Yeah.
And
in the book, she's actually a famous gunter. She already has fame ish before she even finds the key.
Does she have fame in the movie? I'm not sure if that's clear, because Artemis. I mean, Parzival knows who she is.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
they call her
that's Artemis.
The Artemis. They're like, that's the Artemis, and then it's just like she's whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like they don't really go into details. Clear. Yeah,
they don't. They don't even. Like, she used to. Did she have like a blog or a vlog or something? She had something.
Like in the book, she has a blog, and like, where she talks about a lot of different stuff.
None of that's in the movie.
No.
At all.
Well, you know, also in the book, she's a like 19-year-old college student studying writing in Vancouver. And in the book, or in the movie, you know, she's some chick in the resistance movement, apparently.
Yeah, I wish they would have gone further with that idea. I like that idea. Like, not everyone in the Oasis is all about gunting. It's not just this video game. There's, like, real people doing different things, like trying to be part of this revolution. But then they just don't go anywhere with it.
Yeah.
So I like her motivations. I just wish they were explained a little further. H. I think we talked about as much as we could with H. Her reveal was kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Ruined.
Didn't
and her personality was basically, I build things, and then that's it.
Yeah.
A show, the little one, he was cool. I liked I guess I
didn't like that.
I'm a little kid.
Yeah.
Made me laugh.
I just felt like they were trying super hard to emphasize, like, I'm just a kid.
I mean, you would if you saw that in real life, you know? You'd be like, you are just a kid. I know I'm just a kid. Like, it goes to show how, you know, anyone can be anyone in the Oasis. You know, like you were saying, that feeling when you first came out, you know, like, you don't know who's behind these avatars. They could be anyone. A little kid, fat loser, a fucking girl in a revolution. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't think they overdid it. you know, like the emphasizing that he was just a little kid, and maybe you think they overdid it just a little bit, but it didn't bother me in particular. Daito, I can't tell you anything about him. He exists, and then he meditates for a while, for no reason.
And then he becomes a Gundam.
And then he's fucking awesome when he becomes Gundam. And then he's not Gundam no more. I don't understand. In the book, and I understand we keep going back to the book, but in the book, there's a reason as to why he could only be Ultraman for like a few minutes or whatever. Yes. Like, there's a whole section in the book where if anyone does the thing he does, but he just happens to be the one who does it. And so he also, could be anything David, he wants for like a couple minutes. Yeah, Ivan?
He's not... He doesn't become a Gundam. He becomes an RX-78, okay?
Oh my... I don't watch Gundam. Face. But that was never explained in the movie. There's never like that scene where he's like, he did the thing where he can choose any fucking mecha he wants. He just does it, and then it's weird when he can't be that no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was never explained. So if you've never read the book, you'd be like, why can't he be Gundam anymore?
Also, like, in the book, he's kind of a dick.
A little bit.
Yeah, like he's a real big dick.
He's a little bit dick. You know who I liked? Who I did think was an improvement? Halliday. I fucking loved Halliday in this movie.
Yeah.
When I read the book, I wasn't sure how to make out his personality. I wasn't sure what I was reading when I would read about him. Yeah, he liked all of these things, but like, who is he as a person? And I felt like we got to see that more in the movie. Like, he's a little socially awkward, and he has a hard time explaining, his opinions to people. But he could still crack a joke. He had his quirks, and I felt like that came through a lot more in the movie than in the book. I remember in the book, I remember thinking, like, did he have a form of, like, autism or something? And I think that's alluded to in the book.
Yeah, it is.
And just in the movie, though, I just felt like they did a great job with his personality. And I think that's in part with who they got casted in the role, Mark Rylance. Very good actor. It's his third time teaming up with Steven Spielberg. Very good, very good.
Okay. Any other characters you want to get into?
No, I think we talked about Sorrento. He's just your typical villain. Simon Pegg, definitely underutilized. IROC, different character. And then the girl character, I thought was completely unnecessary. The girl henchman.
Yeah.
I just didn't think she needed to be there at all. Going back to some story, I didn't like the part where Artemis gets thrown into jail, into the Sixer jail or whatever.
Yeah.
I just felt like that was weird. Like, it wasn't as well explained as it was in the movie. I mean, in the book. And it's not Artemis, right? It's
Parzival.
Parzival's the one who goes to the IOI jail.
Yeah.
I just don't think they explained the jail well enough. Like how, like, people die there, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't think, because it didn't feel threatening.
Well, okay.
I just don't think it was clear.
In the book, people don't die there. Like, in the book, they take care of you because you become, like, company property. Like, you are now an asset of the company.
Yeah.
And, like, in the book, I remember, like, they even gave him a coat while they were transporting him to the facility because they're like, they don't want him to get cold because, like, he's now, like, a company asset.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, get sick or anything. And, like, they feed you and they house you.
It was basically a loophole to keep it from being a prison, right?
Yeah, because like they'll feed you, take care of you, and you can get out. You just have to pay off all your debt, but they charge you. Yeah, it's impossible.
It's a loophole so that you can't.
Yeah.
Finish your debt.
Or like in this place, it just seems like you're basically in prison, and if you die, fuck you.
Yeah. It was just weird. People feel it looked like they were getting tired carrying things around, but they were only carrying things around in the virtual world. So why would they be tired in real life?
Yeah.
Like they got those suits. I don't understand how did.
Okay.
Why?
I can kind of see something. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a little second, or I don't know what I'm gonna play. But in the book, they talk about how like the suits can provide active resistance against you, and like even some like the people who play like virtual sports, like their suits are designed to where you have to use your physical abilities to actually perform properly. That being said, though, they also talk about how there's a way to turn that off.
Yeah, and you would think if you wanted your workers to perform proficiently, you wouldn't activate that. You know what I mean?
Also, they don't have a suit; they're just wearing the gloves and the visor.
So that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why would you put a sensor on your balls? Why? Because there's the scene where he gets kicked in the dick and he feels it.
Yeah.
Why did you put that there? That's your fault.
Or there's a scene in the nightclub when like Artemis is like, "Did you come prepared?" And like she's grabbing his dick and he's like, "Yeah, I got the microfiber cloth crotchetly."
But why would you activate it like in a fighting sequence?
Because
you'd be like, you know what? I'm about to fight. I don't think I need this on my balls.
Movies.
That was like one of those cheesy Spielberg moments. Like, I gotta laugh, but I don't think that would happen.
No, yeah.
Made me laugh, though.
Yeah.
Any other characters you want to talk about, Ivan? I think that wrapped it up on my end.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we talked about everybody I kind of wanted to get into it with.
Yeah, I think we covered everybody.
The aunt wasn't as mean as, like, in the book.
No, like, she wasn't mean at all. Like, sometimes I felt like maybe she could listen to Wade Watts a little bit more.
Yeah.
But, I mean, other than that, like, her boyfriend was a dick, but...
Yeah.
My dogs are barking at my neighbors, and my neighbor is yelling back at them.
I can actually hear it.
She is not taking their barkings lightly.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. I didn't expect that to happen right now.
Anything else you want to get into? Like story, characters?
Story-wise, no. Characters, no. So, if you want to get into the technical aspects, how fucking beautiful did those visual effects look?
It was pretty good. It was honestly amazing.
I was really fucking impressed with the CGI.
I was really fucking impressed with the whole The Shining when they go to the hotel.
That is insane. How did they film that? Did they build the sets? Like, did they just take existing footage from the actual movie? I have no idea how they did that. It looks so crisp.
They added like the film grain onto it. Like it was just fucking. It was amazing. I want to know how they did that.
I definitely want to see the behind the scenes featurettes. And this is how we did the Shining sequence. That's because I mean it's one of the most memorable sequences in the whole movie.
Yeah. Because
it just looks so fucking good. I haven't even before watching the movie, I hadn't even seen The Shining yet. And that it was still impressive because it just looked so fucking real.
Mm-hmm.
And I have since seen The Shining. Very weird movie.
Yeah.
I have conflicting feelings about it.
We'll get into that in a different podcast.
I feel like since it was my only first time seeing it, I have the same reaction that a lot of people had when it was first released, because apparently a lot of people had mixed feelings about it on its initial release. It was even nominated for a few Razzies, if you can believe that. And now it's like regarded as one of the best fucking horror films of all time. So I think it's one of those movies that I'm gonna need time to let it grow on me, so I can analyze it a bit further and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so going back to my fear of Steven Spielberg directing the movie in the first place, I wasn't sure how the CG was gonna look, because his CG in movies like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull were shit.
Yeah.
It just looks bad. Like the CG in that movie in particular, it just doesn't hold up. And so I was really afraid that it like I was gonna watch it in the theaters and I was gonna go, this could have been better. The CG there could have looked. No, I fucking saw it at Navy Pier's IMAX screen. The picture quality was crisp as fuck, dude. Just crystal clear quality image, G. Like I was so fucking impressed, and I'm glad, and I'm glad that I'm so impressed, because so much of the movie is set, you know, in the digital, you know, not real world. So I think that it's a good thing. The movie was initially supposed to come out in December of last year, if you remember. And I'm really glad they pushed it, because I think that gave them extra time to work on all the post-production.
Really polish it up.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're nearing the end of the movie.
Yes.
So I want to get into overall thoughts on Ready Player One.
I think it's a great return to form from Steven Spielberg. You know, it harkens back to his old self, where he used to make fun, you know, adventure films that anyone can enjoy. It has fun spirit. Even the music, you know, just listening to this soundtrack, it's reminiscent of that. I think it's the same guy. I think Alan Silvestri did the music to Back to the Future, if I'm not mistaken. And he did the score for Ready Player One, which is why I love the music so much. Talk about that score, huh? The music is fantastic in Ready Player One.
Yeah.
I really wish they had a soundtrack to all of their pop songs, because I want to listen to them. But I think what makes it one of my favorite movies of the year, personally, is because I can really connect to the idea of getting lost in escapism, not so much in video games, but in movies. I spend so much time watching movies, but that's because, you know, what I want to do with my profession. But I get lost in it sometimes, and it's escapism, and sometimes forgetting about what's really important in life. And this movie is a reminder where, yes, it's okay to nerd out and to obsess over some of these things, but never forget about what's real and what's important in real life.
Yeah.
And that really connected with me.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel, man, like, I feel like we jocked on it so much in this review. Like, we just talked so much shit about it and, like, pointed out all its little, like, flaws.
I mean, I love this movie.
That being said, I
love it.
I absolutely fucking love this movie. Probably top 3 movies of ever for mine. Mm-hmm. Like, I see this movie 3 times so far.
Really?
Yeah, and I saw it opening day on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I saw it again, I think like a Friday, and I saw it with my girlfriend as well.
Yeah.
And it just, I love it every single time I see it. Because I had a feeling, I remember I was talking to you about it, but like when I first left the theater, I just kind of had a feeling like, man, I wish I was in that world. I wish I can escape to the Oasis. I wish I can, live like that. And eventually that feeling went away, and I had another weird feeling where, like, I don't know, the maybe it's just me like putting a lot of thought into it or something, but like I had a feeling that like the book had a message where I can be whatever I want to be.
Yeah.
Like I'm free to choose what I want to do, and I don't know that's very profound effect on me, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's absolutely fantastic movie that it really it strung a chord with my heart, I guess. I don't know.
No, man. I'm right there with you. I understand. I think we might be in the minority of people. I think everyone enjoys it. I know we fucking love it. Like, we love this movie. And like, how refreshing is it to say that after, months of going, I don't know if I'm going to like it, man. I'm worried, what are they going to do? It's going to be different. I don't know. How refreshing is it to be like, man, that was a great fucking movie and I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah. Man, fan-fucking-tastic. This is a movie I want to show my children one day.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about who is this movie for.
Yeah.
Because a lot of, younger people, the references are going to go way over their head.
Oh, yeah.
But an older generation of people might enjoy how it harkens back to the old Spielberg that they used to know. But, it's about teens and the pop culture references might be a little too much for them. So it kind of, I think it's confused on who it wants its audience to be, but it never gets lost in that. So it can connect to various different people.
Yeah. I feel like there's a little bit of everything for everybody in this movie.
Yeah.
Think they'll make a sequel?
If they make it, won't be for a long time, I don't think. Like, I'm sure, has it been confirmed Ernest Cline is working on a sequel to the novel?
I believe so.
So it'll probably be a few years before he finishes that. So I don't think a sequel will be... I think the book will have like years to breathe after the years that it takes for it to come out anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if we ever do get a sequel, it'll be a long time.
Oh yeah,
and it probably
this had 7 years to breathe.
Yeah, it came out 2011. Yeah, 7 years. But that's still a long time, in retrospect when you think about it. We were still just in high school. You know what I mean? That sounds like a good amount of time. 10 to fucking 15, 20 years. Maybe it'll be the real world as we know it, We won't need it. Maybe the movie will be in virtual reality. That'd be fucking crazy.
You never know.
You don't know, Ivan. That'd be pretty cool. That would have been a really interesting experiment to try shooting some of this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Using virtual reality technology. That would have been fucking crazy. They had some, like, it's called, like, the Ready Player One experience. They did some shit down in LA. I'm not sure what they did.
Oh, like, they built, like, stacks and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been interesting if they did more of that. That would have been expensive as hell.
They had an augmented reality game that they kind of abandoned halfway through. Which I'm kind of sad about. That was getting pretty good. Or like they had like QR codes in the trailer, and if you went to there and you found the password and you went to like the site files and you did this and this, you get like a YouTube video here, and then like halfway through they're just like, no more support for this.
Yeah. Like, how awesome would it have been if there were not Easter eggs in the movie, because there's a shit ton of those, but if there was an actual, like, hunt in the movie, like, that goes into the real world. Like, if you pick up, like I Love Bees, how in the fucking game there was connections to shit in the real world where if you actually contacted a number, you'd be taken to a thing. That would have been dope as shit. If they did like some sort of
fun fact, I don't know if you ever knew about this.
In the movie,
there's actually a Easter egg hunt in the book.
For what?
DeLorean.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, Ernest Cline hid, like in the first release of the book, he hid an Easter egg somehow in there. I don't honestly know what it is because there's not that much information on it online, but he hid something in there that led you to like a website where you had to play a game called the Stacks, which is basically just like Wade Watts like avoiding shit in stacks. After that, like it will take you to like a different game. You have to beat that game, or it'll lead to like a video or something, and that video would lead you or tell you to basically set a new world record in Pac-Man, Joust, Robotron, or another game, and the first person to do that would like win a DeLorean.
No shit.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever do it?
Yeah, I think somebody won like a month or two after the book came out.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. It's so fast. It wouldn't have taken 5 years to fucking win a race.
Yeah. We said nothing about Back to the Future.
Nothing. Not a damn thing. This works better as a fucking Ready Player One commentary track than it will a Back to the Future commentary track.
Oh, I don't even know why we bother with the movies anymore.
We should just fucking do 2-hour reviews. At this point, it might be easier, honestly, than trying to fucking schedule in a 2-hour movie. If we just fucking spent half an hour talking about characters and stories and shit.
Yeah.
We'll discuss this later, since the movie's about to finish anyway.
But this is the clear setup for the sequel.
No, see, it's not. They didn't know it was going to be successful and that it would get a sequel. The sequel follows this, but I think this is a fantastic way to just end the movie. If they had never made Back to the Future Part 2, you know what I mean? Like, this works fine as an ending. Like, it's fun. It's they didn't, like, we don't need roads. Flies off into the sky, cut. Like, it's, I don't know. It didn't need a sequel. You know what I mean?
Oh, speaking of that, how did you feel about the ending of Ready Player One, real quick?
How does it end? You mean
were...
where it's like, and so I won, and so no Oasis on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you can go ahead and get laid, and all right, peace, I'm out.
Yeah.
End of movie?
Yeah.
It was it was a little abrupt. I think they could have done it a little better. I mean, like, Artemis is like all over him. Like, she's on his lap and like making out, and I'm like, they could have handled this a little
I thought
better.
It was pretty weird how they were both dressed up, like laying in like a random brick house.
Yeah, where is that? Is that their house? Is that his house? Because he's a trillionaire now?
I think the way the book ended was a lot more classy, honestly.
How does it end?
It ends with basically like they go. Artemis is already outside waiting in Ogdenmorl's hedge maze, and Parzival / Wade, he goes out there and he's kind of like talking. He sees her for the first time. They're just kind of staring at each other, like learning their facial features and stuff.
Yeah.
And like they're talking. And she's like, "I'm sorry, I like totally broke it off with you. Like, you know, like I hurt you. I'm really sorry." And then like they just kiss. And then he kind of just says, you know, for the first time in a long time, I felt no urge to go back into the Oasis.
Ugh, that's a cringy line. But I think both the movie and the book kind of struggle where the ending is basically just the girl is just the prize for Wade to win.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
pretty
I mean?
shitty.
It is pretty shitty because Artemis is a much better character than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could have been handled better in the movie, but it could have been handled better in the book too. So I don't know. It is a very awkward ending, especially the ending where he's in the room with maybe it's Halliday's ghost or not, it was so ambiguous. You know, it's touching
in
a way.
Yeah. I felt like they were kind of setting up for a sequel.
Yeah, like maybe or maybe not. You know, like it fits well in service of the movie because Wade, he learns something, he grows, and it's a touching scene. And then we go back to. All right, yeah, but Artemis is right here.
I'm calling
it
with you right now. I know what the sequel's gonna be about.
Oh, what's it about, Ivan?
Halliday uploaded his mind into the Oasis, so his consciousness is on the Oasis, but he starts going through rampancy. If you remember that from Halo.
Yeah, with the AI go crazy.
Yeah, and he starts like fucking shit up and destroying it. So Wade and everybody have to go into the Oasis and stop him. Ugh. Before he destroys the Oasis.
I don't know.
I'm calling it right now, dude. I'm betting you right now.
Do you need a sequel? I don't need a sequel at all.
I will bet you. They're gonna make one.
I love the story as it is. But they'll make one in the novel. We don't know if they'll make a movie. I don't
know. I feel like they will. I'm calling right now, bro.
Look, I don't know. They made a much better movie than I expected, so I'm sure they'll make a much better sequel than from what I might anticipate it to be.
Yeah. All right. Bottom line, how do you feel about the movie, David?
Which one? Back to the Future or Ready Player One?
Both.
I love them both. I think Back to the Future is probably a better movie, but very slightly. They both have the same kind of spirit, and that's why I chose to talk about that one, even though we didn't talk about it at all.
Yeah.
They both have that same kind of fun adventure feel.
See, all right, I like Back to the Future, but it's not my go-to 80s movie. This is for me more like a lighthearted classic adventure movie. And War Games is my go-to 80s movie when I'm like, I'm feeling nostalgic.
Really?
Yeah, fuck you. We can talk about how you dislike War Games later.
See, I thought this would have been the perfect time to talk about how I disliked War Games, but we were so into Ready Player One that we talked about it for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Ready Player One's the best.
All right, you ready for me to wrap this up?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I have a script. Definitely go watch this. What are you doing? Why'd you listen to our commentary track if you haven't seen Ready Player One yet? What are you doing with your life? Go see it. Go support it. We both loved it, and we very much both highly recommend it. Yes?
Yes.
Great. So if you liked this commentary track, you can find us on iTunes, Bandcamp, YouTube, SoundCloud, whichever is your preferred method of listening to podcasts or commentary tracks. We're on all 4 of those platforms. The best way you can help us to continue these commentary tracks is by donating to us at Bandcamp. It is not at all necessary, but it would help us out when putting these commentary tracks together. If you'd like to reach us at all, ask us a question, or recommend a movie for us to comment on, you can reach us at notthebestmedia@gmail.com. Ivan, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Real quick, I love the movie. I know I talked a lot of shit about it, but it's absolutely a fantastic movie. It's fucking amazing, and please go see this movie. You will not regret it.
Yeah, I mean, no movie is perfect. Even our favorite movies, we can rip on them. Just that's just the nature of the beast. We might have came across as a little bit cynical in our review, but we love the movie.
Yes.
We're going to watch this over and over and over again. We're going to buy it as soon as it's out, and we're going to support it as much as we can because of how much we loved it.
Yeah.
With all that being said, go ahead, comment, subscribe, like, follow, whatever it is with whatever media you're following us on, go ahead and do that thing. You can find my own personal reviews on YouTube. Just go ahead and search David Lopez Reviews, or you can follow me on Twitter at David L Reviews. And that wraps. That's everything. That wraps about everything. So thanks for listening, guys. We very much appreciate it. My name's David.
I'm Ivan.
And we're not the best podcast. We're not the best.
We aight.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.